doing?
I'm good. See, I made you say that before the program. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
a mysterious man of intrigue, right?
No. I mean, but it is, I think, a mystery to people because you're not visibly on the show. You're doing your own thing normally during the day. You've just been helping out. So
Mhm.
here's question number one that I'm going to throw at you is what made you decide, honestly, to jump on board and be such a force in the program that we're doing?
Well, whenever I do stuff, for one, anytime I commit to something, I usually commit to it full force. That's just who I am.
Sure. Yeah. It's either all or nothing.
Also, originally, you reached out and you're like, because I think we'd done some stuff on the old show,
Sure. Yeah.
which shall not be named.
No.
But I'd come on and I had been on as like a, I don't know, a laugher or somebody that comes in.
Be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you came in and you helped us out with things here and there.
But I know that you'd reached out and you're like, hey, if you want to come on sometime. And I was like, well, do you need help with any of that stuff? And you were like, well, do you know about this? And I was like, well, I know a lot of adjacent stuff, because I do network.
Right. Well, because you're a tech guru. You've been doing network engineering and tech stuff for many, many years.
Yeah. And also I've been listening to you on the radio for years. Like for the longest time in the mornings, I would listen almost every single day. And that was like the way that I started my day. And so after you weren't on the morning radio anymore, I actually went and found like a different channel, or I didn't listen to the radio in the morning.
Right.
And I was like, oh, he's going to start back up again. I was like, well, I have skills that I think could really help you get that going. So I was like, well, I like your show a lot. It's not on anymore. What can I do to help bring that back?
And God, does he regret that question now? I mean, it's been every day now for what, month?
It's been a minute, yeah. I mean, it does require. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people probably don't realize. That
you have to kind of go back to where we first started talking about it because my paradigm was I'm a radio guy. It's what I've done is radio, and I want to recreate a radio show in a modern way where it's streamable. And that was where my vision began and ended. And so, when you started talking to me, we started going through things and we started looking at really ordering equipment, what that would involve. And you were like, man, I know this is kind of how you feel, but if you look at this, and then the next thing you know, all of a sudden we're doing video cameras, we've got a set, we've got a desk, we've got, basically a full-scale TV talk show.
Right.
Is what it became. And thank God to, Game Time Wraps for that. Thank you to Fitz Auto for the equipment. Thank you to Spencer Consulting for the desk. Thank you to James Cheney for helping us with the desk, for all the electrical stuff. Thank you to Legion Scaffold for the studio space. I mean, all these guys chipped in, but honestly, you have architected the system,
Yeah, well, I mean, when you came to me with it, I thought to myself, I was like, well, honestly, I don't really know that many people that listen to internet radio, like just a station that's audio only. I mean,
and that was my original idea, so let's do an internet radio station.
So, and with the way things social, I mean, I'm not on a lot of social platforms, but I know the way that it works. And today's like medium is very visual. I mean, you think about the rise of TikTok, the rise of YouTube and YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially like, they want to be able to see even like popular podcasts, other things like what you're doing, what you have guests and type thing. So I was like, well, why don't you just put up some cameras, and then boom, they can see, your grin whenever you do something you think is fun,
right.
And that kind of stuff. Cause that's stuff that you miss out on when you've got only the audio,
the theater of audio.
Right. Yeah. So people are like, I wonder what that guy looked for the longest time before I met you. I was like, what does he look like?
Nobody ever, when they see me, they never think that's what I was supposed to look like.
Right.
I mean, there's supposed to be a real big, fat type overall wearing dude, or I'm supposed to be a tall, angry looking redhead guy.
Right.
An Irish guy. I'm sad to disappoint all of you. No, I'm not, actually.
Well, yeah, and it was, when I first met you, I was like, that is, you kind of come up with a mental picture of what you think somebody looks like based on their voice, especially after years of listening. And then you meet them and you're like, that's not what I thought you looked like. That's not your face.
Like, it's like reading a book And, you conjure the image as the author's written it. Then you see the movie and you're like,
No.
oh, that didn't make that. I know, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just something that adds to the product, like what you actually present to people. And then you can also bring in cool stuff like my Predator mask.
Right. Which he contributed to. But you're a huge Predator guy.
I am a huge Predator guy.
A huge Predator.
Yeah.
Are you?
No.
Oh, no. No, he's not. He's not. Trump. No. No.
I love the Predator movies. I grew up watching them. And so I think it's gotten more intense as I've gotten old. Because, like, everything I watch, I compare to Predator. I'm like,
let me just say this because I do talk a lot about how 80s remake stuff, right? And this movie is not a remake in any way, but I will say I didn't watch it for some length of time, but I finally caught it on Netflix or stream or somewhere. And wherever it was, when I watched it, I was so fucking blown away.
What movie?
By the movie. Prey.
Prey?
You didn't like it?
It's funny. I was talking to my boss about this literally about 45 minutes ago because that Predator is in my life that much. I've got the whole cast autograph at my house. I've got I mean, you've seen some of the stuff that and just the random stuff that's on the desk. But when I watch it, like there's problems with the movie, like the hatchet with the rope, and that would never work. It would no. There's been like weapons YouTubers they'll go out and try it. When it came out and it was a big thing, they're like, it wouldn't work. So,
okay, fine. But still, I have to say, the girl that played the main character, the intensity of it, I just thought it was a creative approach.
Yeah. No, whenever they came out with it, I heard about the movie and it sounded, I mean, it's not the worst. Like, it's probably like my fourth favorite out of the whole.
Fourth favorite.
Well, because like there was The Predator in 2018.
The original, the OG.
The Predator 2018, which was made Shane Black, which he was Hawkins in the first one.
Okay.
Awful. It was
I haven't seen it. I don't even know about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
It's like Alien Romulus. Trash.
Yeah. And the Alien, my boss kind of likes The Predator, but whenever I was telling him about it, like there's a lot of problems with the movie, but it's like, you know how they're like, we got to go bigger. So they come out with a super Predator. That's
right.
Like
it's always going to be something more
12 foot tall or something. It's ridiculous,
And it's the same with Alien Romulus. In the end, they come up with something new.
Right.
It's trash, and it's never going to be any good.
Yeah, and they break away from the formula of what made Predator scary, and they try to make it too much of a comedy, too much shtick.
Yeah.
I don't know if when did Disney buy Fox?
I might ruin everything.
But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about it. But the original Predator, I mean, it had Arnold, Ventura.
Yeah.
Like that whole cast was stacked. Sonny Landham, all those guys.
No, it's an outstanding cast.
Carl Weathers, how did I even forget Carl Weathers?
Yeah, no doubt.
Bill Duke. So like the whole movie was just pure like testosterone.
That's what every Arnold movie really was, and that's why the '80s movies are hard to remake. Is that
right?
That style about it. Yeah. It was campy, but it wasn't stupid. It didn't insult the view.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing, like, if you watch the original Predator, it's almost like the first half is like an action movie. Like, you don't see the Predator until a good amount in. It's just like an action movie, just cool sequences of guys, going out the helicopter, going through the woods, blowing out.
And it's like,
It's also almost like a psychological horror for a while because, they don't reveal what he looks like at first. They just reveal what he sees. He does the talk back.
Or whatever it is.
It builds that tension. And in the newer ones, like, and I saw this thing they talked about, I think the guy that did the original, makeup stuff on the Predator, on Kevin Peter Hall, they talked about how they never get the jaws right. And they want to expose them so much more in the new movies because they're like a selling point. But back then, if you notice, they didn't come out to like almost the very end.
Yeah, right at the very end. Matter of fact, when he took his helmet off, I think is when it happens. Am I right?
Yeah. But whenever he fights with Arnold,
at the very end, he strikes him real hard or whatever, and he takes the helmet off because he's pissed.
Right.
And that's when he shows.
But it's almost like in the newer ones, it's like one of the first things you see. Like if you saw Predators, which was the one with Adrian Brody.
Okay.
I think 2010. He's not my favorite actor, but it is probably like the third. But I still think a lot of people didn't like Predator 2, but that's number 2 for me on the. Yeah. I mean, I like Michael.
Who was in Predator 2? I don't.
Glover. He was
Glover. Okay.
Paxton.
Oh yeah, Bill Paxton. Yeah.
He was the wise ass.
I'm over, man. We're all gonna die. That's aliens, but still.
they called him the Lone Ranger, and when he's like, it gives him, Danny Glover gives him the talk. Welcome to the war, kid.
Yeah. If I remember correct, Bill Paxton goes out in a blaze of glory in that.
Yeah.
He gets pissed off and he just starts going ham. And
the last thing I think he says in the movie is, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
A knife. But I mean, and he's playing that the Predator saying, "Want some candy?" But
You're right.
The movie. But the reason I like that, and what a lot of people don't know, is the first two Predator movies were made by the original two brothers who wrote the original script was called.
Yeah, they conceived it. Yeah.
So those are the only two that came from them before they sold the rights.
Everything else was trash. I mean, it was just after other people.
And here recently, they actually sued Disney to try to get the rights back, but I think it was a gimmick. Like, because the contract had expired, and they're like, "We're back," and they're like, "Pay me a little away."
Now, Disney's MO apparently is to ruin anything they buy.
Yes.
And I would say they've ruined Star Wars. Now, some people may feel differently. I think it's trash.
I don't like it.
They've Predator, you may feel.
Yes.
They've certainly messed up some of the other things that they've done, and I'm concerned. They almost screwed Marvel up.
Marvel guy. So
I'm a Marvel guy.
Yeah, to be honest with you.
Really?
I saw maybe.
Oh no, you're what?
I saw maybe like the original Iron Man with like Robert. I've completely avoided the rest. I've never seen any.
What are you talking about? We've never seen like the Avengers Endgame or Infinity.
What they are, because I've never watched.
They're epic, bro. I mean, they're amazing.
Well, to me, like Disney came out with this cookie cutter formula.
Well, forget Disney. The Avengers are awesome. I mean,
the whole thing is like, the good guys win again. Like,
well, it's not. It's not. It's not.
And then it's like, well, here's a new character spin-off. Incoming. It's a cash generation content production.
Well, so were the comic books, honestly. I mean, there was a spin-off.
Either. I mean, the comics that I have at home are, you can guess.
Okay, fair enough.
I did like the superhero movies I did like was the Dark Knight trilogy, which mainly
the one with Heath Ledger and
Christian Bale. Yeah, a lot of people pretty voice.
I don't like the voice. I like.
What'd you like, Keaton? I bet.
Oh, Keaton's by far the best Bruce Wayne. Best Bruce Wayne, no question at all.
I don't know,
but no question. Yes, most suave. No, it doesn't. No,
not Val.
No, Val Kilmer is amazing as Doc Holliday.
Mm-hmm.
Defining role. Best role. The Doors.
Oh yeah.
Third Iceman.
Yeah.
But no. And Michael Keaton was just so suave, so cool as Bruce Wayne. Now the best Batman probably is Christian Bale. I just don't like Iron Man. I know he grates. Yeah, he gets on my nerves a little bit. No, it's a little too much.
Do that to my wife. I'll say
so much. Oh, he did. But yeah, it's like, come on, man. You can come up with a better voice actuator than that. You're Batman, for God's sake.
I mean, but
I guess most of the sound menacing.
Like I like the dark grittiness.
But what I didn't like about it is some of the fight scenes, especially in the first one, are so dark. You can't even see the action, and that's aggravating.
Well, so like, I've watched all of them. I like the ones that are. It's been a while since I've watched Batman Begins with Christian Bale. I think that's what that one was.
Yeah.
I didn't have Scarecrow as the bad guy.
Yeah, that was good. Cillian Murphy was good as Scarecrow.
It's probably the least memorable of them.
Well, the one with Heath Ledger's obviously the greatest. I mean, because most people would say he's probably the greatest to play the Joker. Some would say Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
it's one of those two. You pick one. It ain't Jared Leto. I'm here to tell you that.
What?
He is not the best Joker ever. He was all right. It was a little too much.
I didn't like. It's like a rapper.
What about the new Jokers with Joaquin Phoenix?
Well, I heard the second one was absolutely abysmal because
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I mean, at what point are you like, okay, the first one was a success, but we're gonna add. Here's the idea: we'll make it a musical. And we'll put Lady Gaga in it, and they'll love it.
It's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. It's like, when did musicals and comic books ever go together? They don't.
Yeah.
That's trash. But now what
asked for that.
Hell, the box office says nobody asked for that. But I will say I did hear from someone, spoiler alert, that the ending revealed a different Joker.
Yeah,
Arthur Fleck was never the Joker, and that was the whole point of it, I guess.
yeah, it's that like he was kind of like
Yeah, a patsy.
Joker type
Yeah,
thing, like
maybe he opened the door, but really, this was a what did he say? Canonical,
canonical.
non-canonical movie. But the first one was interesting. It wasn't awesome to me. It was gritty.
Really, is a more of like a psychological,
Yeah,
like movie about somebody just losing it more than it is like a
it
villain.
was more like a remake of Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Oh, I
It
watched
was
that not too long ago. Yeah.
a pretty good movie, really. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say, but some of the stuff in there, you're like, okay, but
yeah, probably not too good. You can probably can get away with it now.
but
No, you definitely could not get away with it.
interesting movie. Like he
is.
leaves this car, like
No, he's just
Wow.
done.
Yeah.
He's done.
that one, yeah, that's an interesting movie. But yeah, the Joker, I liked Joaquin Phoenix, and I felt like they could have done something with that. But
All right, so let's say what's the best not sci-fi movie ever?
well, I spent so much of my time thinking about Predator. Well,
See this.
let's see. I mean, there's a lot of different ones that I like. I liked Terminator. I mean, like,
Terminator 2, or T1 or T2?
I like both, but Terminator 2 is a little better.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is way better.
Well, I mean, then you look at,
James Cameron.
but when you put it in,
Context.
with the rest of them, like you got Dark Fate, Genesis, and then they totally
like a million Terminators
ran
now.
on Terminator 3 completely out of existence, basically. Somehow I can't remember how, but it's like,
And then what was there a recent one where Arnold was an old one? It was old Arnold versus new Arnold or something, in the or old Arnold versus new Terminator.
this or
Was it?
something. Yeah,
I don't.
somebody probably got comment and say,
Yeah.
what it was. But then there was that one with Christian Bale, Terminator Salvation, the one that he like had that clip come out where he
Oh,
just lost his mind on everything. It was like,
yeah.
he got a lot of heat because he was yelling at somebody. He's like,
Oh, that was the one.
that was on Terminator Salvation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't think he'd be all pent up on that set.
Uh,
I love Alien.
I love, yep.
The Xenomorph to me is the best
That one, right?
villain ever. Yeah, right there. Best movie monster of all time. You cannot beat it in my mind.
See, that's how I feel about Predator. Predator to me was very,
They're right on par. That's why did they make Alien versus Predator?
because they were both Fox. Yeah, so they were like, what did we were? Remember, they went through that period where,
They say those are trash.
so the first one was
I didn't say they weren't fun.
bearable. The second one with a Predalien,
No, it's terrible. It's the worst. Yeah.
The first one is it's
It was fun.
the worst. I mean, like canonically, it tears a lot of things up, but
Yeah.
but remember they went through that period around the same time they did that Freddy versus Jason movie.
I like Freddy versus Jason. It's terrible, but I love it.
Yeah, it's silly.
I will say this: my favorite Friday the 13th is Jason X.
Oh, the futuristic.
It is Space Jason. It's so bad. It's absolute trash, but it's so good, man. When Jason gets in the machine and it remakes him into badass Space Jason, and then this chick's got the machine. I mean, it's just
I
awesome.
remember they're like, "What's hockey?" And they're like, "It's a game they used to play." Like,
Yeah.
Hockey Mountain
No, it was great when he dunks her into the nitrogen and it freezes her face.
smashes it.
Yeah, man, it's so dope.
Like, how can we make this? Like I remember they're like, let's dunk her face and just smash it everywhere to make it the most like,
Yeah, grandest thing you can. The other best sci-fi movie for me, The Matrix, the original.
So I like the Matrix. The original Matrices are good, but then I feel like
The Matrix, the first one. I'm not talking about anything else. Number one.
as like the
I know you want to think of the body of it, but just think of the film.
film was good. Yeah,
It was mind bending. The action was unbelievable, still unbelievable. The dialogue is well done. It's brilliantly done.
Mhm.
All the colors and the little symbolism and all the different things they use.
Red Pill.
Second two, I would say the second one is a good sci-fi movie. The third one is questionable. Like I don't watch it very often.
So one movie I like a lot that I think when it came out, it did not get a lot of attention, but it's kind of resurged, is Event Horizon. You remember that movie?
I remember it coming out. I have not watched it. It seems like they were set in an airport and something like
No,
that's not it.
they're out in deep space and
Okay.
it's this they made this ship that folds time or like distant space, to travel faster. But
Okay.
apparently, in there, it's Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne are like the main two people.
Okay.
But whenever they told it, apparently, like I don't want to give away the movie, but it apparently the original cut was even darker than the movie. But essentially, it goes through hell, and that's when it travels, and so it's like hell in space on a spaceship. Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, it is it's a very. I liked it a lot when I was growing up, and
is it a slow burner or is it action?
Well, there's a lot of space action where it's like, oh, he's out in space without wearing a suit, kind of thing, but like. It's also like apparently shit plays on their mind a lot, type.
Well, see, like, for example, when I was coming up as a kid, they used to talk all the time about how great things like, what was it, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Boring.
I watched that one.
Rash.
And
boring.
I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong.
I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I feel like it went through, like, what I remember watching is like the first at least like 10, 15 minutes is just angles of space and music, like classical music.
It's just, it's just so slow. Yeah. And there's really not, I guess A Clockwork Orange is famous by it.
I watched it, so I had heard all the, and then I was like, I should probably watch this because I like to be kind of a movie buff. So I watched it, and then I was like,
That's, what I felt that way about especially is, what is it called? Man, people that love it. God, they love it. It's an action movie. It's very famous with Irish guys.
Boondock Saints?
Yes. Hate it.
I never really watched it, but I remember like there's...
No, it was terrible.
They've been put in video games. I mean, it's kind of like a culty...
It is a cult classic.
Yeah.
I don't like it, though.
Yeah, I don't...
It just didn't get it.
You know what a really terrible, or at least critically terrible movie is that I love?
What?
Biodome.
Oh, with Pauly Shore?
Oh,
that's funny. I see. I wasn't a Pauly Shore guy, but yeah, he was big.
There 4 movies in like the 90s.
They had a handful that did very well, and his parents really. His parents really.
Comedy Store.
Well, they kind of. I mean, they were the innovators of comedy clubs, and so that's why he's so set. Is because of that. I mean, they had those all over the country, and they were the first ones really to do something.
If you like, he did a movie. I want to say it was like 2018, maybe a little newer, but it's called Guest House, and it's a pretty funny movie. And like, it's not. It kind of is similar to the old ones, but it brings in like a newer version of the Pauly Shore from the 90s.
Yeah.
But the whole premise is that these people want to buy this house, but he lives in the guest house, and this is like California or something due to like renters' rights. They're like, you can't kick him out for like 6 months, so it's just them putting up with it. It's pretty funny though, and I was like, I didn't.
Have you seen? If you want to go down that thing, have you seen The Wrong History?
I have seen that. Yeah,
that is a funny damn movie.
Yeah,
it surprised me. She is amazing.
Yeah.
She kills it.
Wait, so I think that's a Happy Madison production.
I'm sure.
And so, like, Adam Sandler's production company. And so the thing is with Adam Sandler is, like, I personally liked Adam Sandler from, like, the 90s, like Happy Gilmore, Happy
Gilmore is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, and then, like,
Waterboy.
Big Daddy, Waterboy.
Big Daddy, not Jack and Jill.
No.
Not Little Nicky.
Not That's My Boy.
Those are, That's My Boy is funny. Yeah, that's the video game one. No.
Pixels.
No. The video game.
Sandberg and his.
Oh, no, not that one then. Okay. What's the one? Grandma's Boy. That's funny. That's funny.
Really?
No, he's not in it.
A brief appearance.
But it's funny. That's a good cast.
With Happy Madison, when I see that logo, I'm like, it's a crapshoot.
It is. It's either really good or trash.
What is the Ridiculous Six?
Oh, terrible. I tried 3 times to watch that.
And whenever I watched it, who they have? Taylor Lautner was like the big item.
I don't know. I couldn't make it more than 15 minutes.
But they made
I know he is.
The biggest goofus of all time. I was like, it was almost like they tried to do overly slapstick.
Yeah.
So I was like...
Yeah, some Sandler movies are really good. Billy Madison's okay.
Yeah.
It's just pretty funny, but it's not as good as Happy Gilmore and Waterboy. Big Daddy.
Great.
Big Daddy. Grandma's Boy.
It's really good.
Uncut Gems was really good, but it's not a comedy at all.
Yeah, I know it's not a comedy.
Did you ever see Unshrunk Love?
No, I don't.
Oh, my God. It's so bad.
Is that an Adam Sandler?
Yes.
Remember 50 First Dates was good.
Oh, 51st Dates is a good movie, actually.
I-
I'm going to swim down and get my ball.
I thought Just Go With It in high school with my.
The one with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, no, that would feel great. Yeah, it's kind of similar in a way, like eating.
And aren't they in a newer one, too? The murder mystery one? Is that the
Murder Mystery and Murder?
I think they were all right.
My wife watches that kind of
Kind of like what's the Chris Rock with everybody and Adam Sandler in it?
like 5 days or something.
No, it's they got even had a sequel to it. You know, it's where all the friends grown up. It's pretty good.
Where it's like, I think Chris Rock. When I was thinking of it, it's like Chris Rock and somebody, they're getting married or something. It's like 5 days until.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that one.
But there's a lot of movies like I think there was an Adam Sandler movie called Funny People.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it was about a guy at cancer.
Yeah, but
not funny.
Yeah, I watched that thinking it was going to be funny.
No, very disappointed. It was not funny at all. About as funny as The English Patient.
Yeah, but
funny like Schindler's List.
Yeah, but like, so when you watch
musical
called Funny People,
right, you would think that was the irony. Yeah,
cover. Well, I was like, oh,
but I do love him.
But
as a person, I think that he's real cool.
Yeah, and he always hires his friends, which I feel like if I was like rich like that, I would hire all my friends.
I based my whole existence basically on that principle that, and this is where we're going to wrap this up, but is that, when Adam Sandler and all his friends, David Spade, Rob Schneider, et cetera, all these guys who were coming up in the stand-up circuit, they kind of together said, if any of us make it, we'll bring the others up.
Right.
Adam Sandler did, and he did. And he's continued to help them further their careers and make careers for them for 20, 30 years. I mean, Joe Dirt and David Spade and Rob Schneider probably would have very few things had it not been that way.
Yeah.
And that's not taking away from their talent or ability. I love Joe Dirt. Matter of fact, I even liked
terrible.
I didn't like it. It was all right.
No.
But it wasn't the first.
It was like a Crackle original.
The first one was great.
Joe Dirt was great.
Cool. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Kid Rock played a great dick in that.
Well, I get you some ambulance and some French fries.
Yeah. There's good stuff, man. Well, this is Gunnar Griffin. Gunnar is the G-man behind everything at the show. So if you're wondering when we're talking to him, this is who it is.